tired. You sit in your car with no music. It's 12 at night. You were working on a kidnapping case. You know you only had 24 hours until the victim was probably gone forever. You've been up for 48 hours straight. You and your team found the little girl and the criminal was arrested. You got a good job from your boss and that was it. Because what you do, it's regular. Tomorrow, you start the whole process over again. You take a long sigh and you walk into the door. You hang your coat on the rack. You have everything you truly wanted as a kid. A house in the middle of a suburbs, a little girl and boy who barely see you nowadays, and a wife. Well, you call her a wife. But lately you guys have been at each other's heads. She says you've never had time for them. It's true. You don't have time for them. You're one of the most elite detectives in the city. When homicide or some major crimes happen, they call you. Your wife was okay with the sacrifices at first, but after the children and the promotions, let's just say she blames you for everything. You wake up. You get a good night's rest, but you're still sleepy, of course. You go back to work at 2 p.m. It's 9 a.m. and you told your son that you would still take him to that new video game store he's been wanting to go to for a minute now. You go downstairs and see your wife sleeping on the couch. She was sleeping in the bed when you came to bed, but I guess she got out. Her relationship has really gotten bad. You remember the good times when you actually had time for her. The late night trips, seeing each other and immediately feeling your heart drop. Being excited on your way to see her. Your daydreaming gets interrupted by your son. Are we still going, Dad? Of course, son. You say as you make some coffee in the kitchen. Your son smiles and runs off to play with your daughter again. You're ready to start the day and then it happens. You get a call from your mom. You don't answer. You rarely answer your mom's calls. Then she calls again. She never calls twice in a row. Not back to back like that. Unless it's serious. You answer the phone. What you hear makes you have chills. Your mom is crying. She never cries. Not even at your dad's funeral did she cry. You've never seen your mom crack a tear. She says your name. You reply slowly, not ready to hear what's next. Yeah, Mom? You're an elite detective. You've been on cases that broke your heart. Kidnapped people that were never found. Wives killing husbands. Murders never solved. Bodies with no arms, legs, sometimes head. And you've never let it get to you. You've always put a brave face and acted like nothing even happened. But what your mom said made you drop to your knees and start crying. Your brother, he's been murdered. You cry in front of your kids for the first time. Your crying wakes up your wife on the nearby couch. Your kids don't understand what's going on, but they follow your wife's lead and hug you. Your son knows he's not going to the video game store today, but he's okay with it. Two hours. That's all it takes. 2 hours. It's usually an hour, but you had to get permission from the chief to be involved in this case an hour away. He was a little hesitant at first, but when you told him it's for your brother, he complied. You reach the town's gas station. You take your helmet off and walk into the gas station. The clerk and the woman checking out both look at you. They say your name in a shocking manner. It's a small town, and before you left, you were practically a celebrity. Well, behind your brother, of course. I'm so sorry for your loss, the woman says as she walks past the door. You nod your head. You then walk to the cash register with the soda. 16 on pump 4 as well. The old man at the counter smiles at you. I'll take some chips as well. Hold on. You walk back to get some chips and put it back on the counter. He looks older than last time you seen him. His wrinkles are expanding, and his hair is now gray, and he has some old reading glasses on. What? You don't have time to talk to an old gas station clerk anymore, big shot? Cleo says, No, I'm just in a hurry, as you put the cash on the table. Well, at least you remember I don't take card, Cleo says. Yeah, I told you before I left to fix that. Makes you in the store an easy target, Cleo. Cleo says, Well, my former security is back. You cut him off before he can finish his sentence. I'm not back. I'm here for my brother. You reply back in a focused manner. I understand. Just joking with you, Cleo says. You guys have a few seconds of silence. Any trouble since I left? You say. No, not yet. Those guys you took care of a few years ago ran off. I hear they're not even in the city anymore. But it's been some new guys. People are calling them Ridge Boys. Cleo says. Ridge Street? You reply back as some memories start to boil back in your head. Yeah, they came yesterday and threatened me. But that tool you gave me saved me once again. Cleo says as he smiles. You smile and say, You still got it? Cleo reaches under the counter and grabs a small revolver. A gun you gifted him when you left 12 years ago. He says, Of course I do. You guys share a laugh. Then you remember why you're here in the first place. Well, I gotta go. You say as you leave the change on the table. As you walk out the door, Cleo says, Hey. You look back at Cleo and you guys share an intense stare. You guys were the two sons I never had. Find that bastard that killed Miles and put him behind bars. You take a pause. Turn back to Cleo. I will. You sit outside your mom's for a minute. Your palms start to get sweaty as you try to get a look into the window. You get off your bike. You put your helmet away in one full swoop. You walk in, and the room immediately gets quiet. You see aunties, cousins, family members you haven't seen in a while. Guys that were close to your brother and was close to you before you left. They all stare like they seen a ghost. Where is she? You say. They take a few seconds and then one of your little cousins point to a room. You walk and see your mom surrounded by two people. Probably the two people closest to her since now your brother's gone. Madison, your sister, and your cousin Kevin. Your mom screams at the sight of you. She grabs you by your shirt and says, You find that bastard! Find that bastard that killed my son! You always felt like she loved your brother more than you. That was one of the reasons you left. Thought about mentioning how she'd even say hi to you or even hugging you. But you don't say anything because of the situation. You nod your head and explain to your mom that you've already been put on the case. You sit outside with Madison on the porch of the house. You guys don't talk for a minute. So what's your plan? Madison says, Go to the crime scene, see what I can find there. You reply, Mom missed you. Maddie replies, I couldn't really tell. You couldn't tell because you walked out on her years ago. Kevin comes bursting through the porch door. Walked out? You say back, defending yourself. I'm surprised you even came back, Mr. Hollywood. Your cousin gets in your face. You stand up as he comes over. Your sister adds in as she steps in the middle. Guys, come on. You ignore her. What have you been up to since I've been gone? Still no wife? No kids? I'm guessing you're still trying to replace me. You reply to Kevin as his face draws an intense motion. He looks you in your eyes, but you know it's all an act. No matter how hard he tries, all you see is that little cousin who looked up to you before you left. Well, your mom needed someone, didn't she? And your brother needed you too, especially when the love of his life ran off with you. Kevin says as you stop in your tracks. Your sister adds in, "What?" She says, looking at you. You move your sister out the way, get into Kevin's face. "Yeah, he told me everything after you left," Kevin says, trying to get under your skin. You look him in the eyes and say, "I hope the years of kissing my family's ass was worth it." You continue to stare him down as Madison tries to intervene. "I'm going to go do something useful. Go to a crime scene. Why don't you use one of my beds to get some rest?" "What? You've been sleeping here like a bum for months and you never cared to look on the name of the bills?" You say back with a smirk on your face. "Who told you that?" Kevin replies cautiously as some family members break him apart and take him back to the house. "Madison was the one who told you. Madison all these years will keep you up with daily FaceTime calls every single day, keeping you up on the latest family drama. But you didn't really care about family drama at that point. You really just wanted to talk to Madison." You look back at Madison and say, "Gotta go," as you hug her. "I'm coming with," Madison says before you can leave. You knew she wasn't going to let you do this alone. "You know I'll roll alone, sis," you say, hoping she gives in. "You know I'm not taking no for an answer," Madison says as she does her classic hand on hip pose. You sigh. "You still got your helmet?" You guys start to drive to the location. You feel a sense of ease. You've always had a soft spot for your sister. She looks different. You can see her sense of independence just by looking at her. Don't take offense at that. I just think he's upset since he never got to apologize to Miles. You reply, "Apologize for what?" She shrugs her shoulders. I don't know. But I walked into them arguing and they just stopped." You made a curious face as you say, "And when was this?" "Yesterday," she replies. You keep a few seconds of silence thinking to yourself, "Hey, I know how weird it looks, but Kevin wouldn't do something like that. Not the Miles." You and your sister arrive at the location. You start to get chills as you take your helmet off. You're about to go to your brother's house, but this time, it isn't about catching up or talking about the funniest moments in high school. It's to see if you get any closer to finding his killer. You stare at the house for a minute before going in. Your sister puts her hand on your shoulder as she notices you are a little rattled. You nod your head and say, "You're too young to go into this crime scene, so just stay on the motorcycle until I come out." "Hey, I'm 16 now," she fires back. "Yeah, exactly." Cops and other detectives are standing in the house. What you see next makes your heart drop. The body is on the floor, covered up. You want to cry, but you know you have to stay strong. "Hey, I've seen you before," one of the detectives says as they walk up to you. "Yeah, I was one of the detectives who solved the Jameson kidnappings," you say reluctantly. "Ah, yeah. I've heard you got a sharp eye. But why take a case like this?" He says as he scans around the living room one more time. What do you mean?" You reply. "I mean, come on. A homicide in the middle of a bumfuck town? It's boring," he says as he playfully punches you. You stare him down and say, "Move out the way." He replies, "What?" You tilt your head in a threatening manner. "I said move." The other detective puts his hand in a surrendering manner and walks away. You've solved so many cases and seen so many victims that it's almost numbing to you. You feel like you're getting punished now for shoving all those victims' pain down and away. Not even a prayer, you think to yourself. Your thoughts get interrupted by seeing a picture of you and Madison on your brother's fridge. You do notice that your face is crossed out. You put your gloves on and take the picture off the wall. The detective looks on as he starts to feel bad about his earlier comment. Hey, maybe we started off on the wrong foot. Sorry for my comment earlier, he says as he offers a handshake to you. How many stab wounds? You reply back as you turn away from him. 10, he says. In the back, you say, looking at the body from the kitchen area. Yeah, how did you figure that out? You haven't even looked at the body. You walk slowly around the living room, looking for anything that stands out. House is still clean, you say to the detective. He replies, yeah, except the body and blood, of course. You walk over to the TV. Can you turn the TV on? You say to the detective. He grabs the remote with his gloves and turns it on. ESPN is the first channel. Oh, so he was a sports guy, the other detective says. He was big on sports. You reply as you continue to walk around the room. You take a look at his stuff around the room. Watches, coats, pictures. Everything seems in place. Not anything touched. Shit, you say as you finally put it together. What? The detective says. This might have been a coordinated attack. You reply back. I mean, we kind of figured the attack was planned. The other detective says. You shake your head and say, no. I mean, this was a planned attack from someone who's been in his house a million times. The victim didn't even fight back. The other detective turns towards you. That would make sense as to why nothing fell. It was a quick kill. You add in, so quick that my brother didn't even see it coming. He was sitting watching sports. How did the victim even get in the house, though? The other detective says. You look towards the door. Was the door open when you guys got here? You say. Yeah? What you thinking? The other detective says. You go outside, look at the front door. You both see an electric door pad. Face palm as you turn around, massaging your head to try to take the stress off. The other detective says, well, there's your answer. He notices the pale look on your face. What's wrong? He says. You hurry and walk over to Madison, now eating chips while leaning on your bike. Maddie, that passcode on the door. Do you know the passcode? Madison finishes chewing and says, no. He said I have no reason to since I don't have a card, which I thought was pretty bullshit. Focus, Maddie. Who knew the code? Focus, Maddie. Who knew the code, you say? Mom and Kevin. That's the only people I know. He said multiple times that he doesn't give the code out to anyone. She replies. 100 scenarios start to play in your head. You knew your brother. He was a knucklehead who loved showing off in front of people and loved the attention of everyone in their family. And he was kind of dense. He was lazy. But your brother wasn't foolish. He would never give his code to someone he didn't trust. What about that ex you told me about? You tell Maddie. I don't know if she had a code or not. It was really only... You cut her off. Are you sure? As you add on. I'm positive. She finishes the sentence as you guys stare at each other. The other detective chimes in. So I guess that means whoever murdered your brother You look at him and finish it. Was a family member.